We spend our lives building memories in the walls we call home. My husband and I built that farmhouse with our bare hands. Every brick, every tree, every corner held a story. But when he passed, that house became my only way to feel him near. I never imagined our own son would sell it. And for what? A shiny new car. I thought my heart had already broken once when my husband died. But that day, it shattered all over again, until the dealer called me and told me something I never expected. I still remember the smell of wet soil the day my husband and I moved into that farmhouse. It wasn't much back then. Just 4 walls, a wooden gate, and a small garden that barely grew flowers. But to us, it was everything. We spent 30 years there, raising our son, Daniel, teaching him how to plant trees, paint fences, and fix leaky pipes. Every corner of that house held his laughter. My husband's deep chuckle echoing down the hallway as Daniel ran around chasing butterflies in the yard. When my husband passed away 5 years ago, I couldn't bring myself to leave. That farmhouse wasn't just a building, it was a living memory of him. His old coat still hung near the door, his books still rested by the window. Every evening I'd sit on the porch, close my eyes and feel him beside me. Daniel moved to the city after his father's funeral. He said life in the village was too quiet. I understood. The young always need noise to drown out the silence we elders learn to live with. Months turned into years. Daniel would visit now and then, stay for an hour and leave in a hurry. But last week, his tone on the phone was different, hurried, nervous. "Mom," he said, avoiding my questions, "I found a good buyer for the farmhouse. You don't need that big place anymore. You deserve comfort, and I'll buy you a nice apartment in the city." My heart stopped for a moment. He spoke of selling it as if it were just a piece of land, not the place where his father's soul still lived. Before I could even protest, the deal was done. A few days later, a man in a suit came to hand me the papers. I signed, my hands shaking, because Daniel said it was for the best. But that night, as I sat in the empty living room surrounded by silence, my phone rang. It was the property dealer, and his voice trembled when he said, "Ma'am, there's something you need to know about this sale." The man's voice on the other end of the phone was uneasy, almost shaking. "Ma'am, I shouldn't be saying this," he whispered, "but I couldn't sleep knowing what I've seen." My heart started to race. I clutched the receiver tighter. "What do you mean?" I asked. "Is there something wrong with the papers?" He took a deep breath. "Your son sold the farmhouse for far less than its real value, and he insisted on getting the money in cash. No bank transfer, no receipt, nothing official. That's not normal, ma'am." I froze. The warmth left my body. Daniel, my son, the boy his father had raised to be honest and hardworking. Why would he do something like that? "Are you sure?" I asked, my voice trembling. The dealer hesitated, then replied, "There's more. The man who bought the farmhouse is not just a buyer. He's a developer. They're planning to demolish the house within a week and build a luxury resort on that land." The world around me blurred. I could barely breathe. Tears filled my eyes as I looked around the quiet living room. The faded wallpaper, the old photographs, the wooden chair where my husband used to sit, all of it, gone. Not just the house, but the memories, the love, the years we built together. "Thank you for telling me," I whispered, my voice cracking. After hanging up, I sat in silence for a long time. The night outside was cold, and the moonlight fell through the cracked window onto the floorboards. The same boards Daniel and his father once polished together. 1,000 questions ran through my mind, but one hurt the most. How could my own son trade his father's memory for a new car? But deep inside, a quiet voice told me this wasn't the end. Something about that sale didn't feel right, and I was going to find out what my son was hiding, even if it broke my heart again. The next morning, I didn't sleep. I sat on the porch, watching the sunrise wash over the empty fields. Every tree, every corner of that land carried a piece of my husband's soul, and the thought of bulldozers tearing it all apart made my chest ache. By noon, Daniel arrived, smiling, pretending everything was fine. "Mom," he said cheerfully, jingling the keys to his shiny new car. "What do you think? Isn't she beautiful?" I looked at him, really looked. His excitement, his pride, and beneath it, guilt flickering in his eyes like a shadow. "Daniel," I said softly, "sit down. We need to talk." He hesitated but finally sat at the table. I placed the sale documents in front of him. "The property dealer called me," I said quietly. He told me the truth. The color drained from his face. His smile faded. "Mom, I can explain." "No," I interrupted. "I want to hear why. Why would you sell the only thing your father left us? For a car?" He lowered his head, hands trembling. "I didn't mean to hurt you, Mom. I was drowning in debt. Business loans, medical bills. I didn't want to burden you. I thought if I sold the farmhouse quickly, I could fix everything before you found out." Tears welled in my eyes. "But Daniel, that house wasn't just a property. It was your father's memory. You should have told me. We could have faced it together." He stood up, pacing. "I thought I was protecting you," he said, voice breaking. "You've already lost Dad. I couldn't let you lose me too if the banks came after us." For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The silence between us was heavy, filled with love, regret, and things we couldn't take back. Then I whispered, "Daniel, you didn't lose me, but you've lost something much greater. Your father's legacy." He turned away, unable to meet my eyes. And as he did, I noticed something fall from his pocket. A folded letter with my husband's handwriting on it. My heart skipped a beat. My hands trembled as I picked up the letter. The paper was old, folded many times, and on the front, written in my husband's familiar handwriting, were the words, "For Daniel, when the time is right." Daniel froze. His eyes widened, and for a moment, the confident man I'd seen moments ago looked like the frightened little boy who used to hide behind his father's chair. "Where did you get this?" I asked, barely above a whisper. He swallowed hard. "I found it inside Dad's old desk the day I came to pack the house. I didn't open it. I was scared." My fingers shook as I unfolded the letter. My husband's words flowed across the page, steady and warm, just like his voice had always been. "My dear son, if you are reading this, it means I'm gone, and life has taken you down a road I can no longer walk beside you. This farmhouse is not just wood and bricks. It's the story of our family. If ever you're lost, don't sell it. Come back here. The walls will remind you who you are." By the time I finished reading, tears blurred the ink. Daniel sank to his knees, his head in his hands. "I didn't know, Mom," he sobbed. "I just wanted to fix everything. I thought I was doing the right thing." I reached out, placed my hand on his shoulder and said softly, "Sometimes, Daniel, the right thing isn't about fixing. It's about remembering." He nodded, tears streaming down his face. Then he whispered, "Mom, I'll get it back, no matter what it takes." A week later, Daniel stood with me on that same porch, the farmhouse still standing. The developer had backed out, moved by the story the dealer told him. The car was gone. But the house, and the bond between a mother, a son, and a father's memory, stood stronger than ever. That evening, as the sun set behind the fields, I could almost hear my husband's laughter in the wind, and for the first time in years, my heart felt whole again. In life, we often measure value by what we can see. The cars, the houses, the money we earn. But the true worth of something lies in the memories it holds and the love it represents. Daniel sold his father's farmhouse thinking he was solving a problem, but he learned a truth that every heart must one day face. You can buy comfort, but you can't buy back what's lost. Sometimes the greatest inheritance we receive isn't land or wealth. It's the stories, the lessons, and the love left behind by those who built our world before us. And if you're lucky enough to still have those memories, hold them close. Because once they're gone, they never truly return. This was an elder tales story, where every heart remembers and every memory whispers a lesson.